Okay. Yeah, the reader may be still in the aircraft. I don't know. And I haven't had time to call anybody about that. So.
Yeah,
Maybe
well, it'll
speculate.
be going back south,
Right.
so we don't need to worry about it.
Okay. Well, the reason why the Zelda's been relocated back to San Diego is because there was an aircraft that was assigned to go to Hawaii. And the problem is there was a legal issue that they couldn't get it over there. So instead of letting it sit around at the Cessna dealer, they picked it up and they took it to San Diego to use it for a while as a 182 turbo. That's been reallocated back to Hawaii. That's why they don't have an aircraft there to fly, and they want to come and get Zelda. You know, at one point they've asked me, hey, either take Zelda or take 437, but give us one back, whether the broken one or the good one. Well, we wanted a good one to fly, so I took 7598 Zulu and told them that 437 when it gets out of the shop will still be ours, but they didn't like that idea and they transferred it because they don't have an aircraft, mission qualified aircraft. So.
And another thing
Remember,
that
these
might,
are all cap assets. They go where they're
yeah.
supposed to be.
So another thing that you might want to just mention, because I've got my own opinion on this subject about Cessna's quality of manufacturing brand new airplanes. Tell them about the turbocharger on this brand new airplane.
You have the brand new airplane that was supposed to go to Hawaii actually failed. The turbocharger failed, so that went into the shop, and that was the first.
Do you plan on carrying that on a boat or flying it over?
Actually, they're sending it down to, I think, the way I understand is they were supposed to be taking it down to the dismantling place Monday and having the wings taken off and put in a container to go to Hawaii.
That was one question. How are they gonna get it there?
Yeah.
Most turbos are made by, it's not done by Cessna, they're the,
Aerosol?
let's say, Rayman, the rate, it starts to raise something. They make most of the turbochargers for it, especially generators. So the failure, you don't hear about failure very often like that if it's brand new, unless you somewhere along the line it's one dry and it's really fairly quite hot and plain bearings.
Okay, so 437, a brand new airplane that we got back in, what was it now? 2012.
Yeah.
The autopilot didn't work coming out of the factory.
Right. When we got it from the factory, it didn't work.
Yeah.
And it took months for us to get it fixed.
And then number two is the right nav light stopped working. I took it apart myself and the damn ground wasn't connected. The little solder thing that they put
Is
on
that
there
all it was?
broken off. Yeah, all it was.
And it's like an $800 light, by the way.
The nav light?
Yeah. Was it the nav light or the
No,
wing light?
the tip light.
Oh no, I'm talking about the other one.
No, this one is a cheap bulb thing, but yeah, it was just a bad.
I'm talking about the landing light. That's the one.
Yeah, bad wire. Ground wire.
Yeah, it's just they don't make all their own parts, but their quality control is less than stellar, I think. Yeah. I know they're very proud of their prices. I mean, I had my Skymaster was a Cessna, and trying to get parts for it was sometimes would break the bank, So.
Well, 4 years ago, I used to get the price list through the Air Force for general aviation. And a Cessna 182 ran about 790. When a 206 is over 800. That was about 4 years ago.
Yeah. Plus, we have
that was the Air Force car.
We have a special upgrade on the paint and the avionics, which puts it up there even a couple $100,000 more than a standard aircraft. And we have the second MFD, the full-size MFD, which most C-1000 aircraft didn't come with that. special software, and then the cap radio, special paint job, all that adds up. So anyway, Zelda right now is here in our hangar. That's here for us to use. I scheduled Wednesday and Friday because it was open and I didn't want anybody to take it from us, so I scheduled those 2 days. If you wanna fly on those days, let me know and I can pull my schedule out and put yours down.
It's wide open on Wednesday and Friday then, yeah?
Yeah, it's, wide open, so.
So where's the 206?
Which 206? The 206 is in an auxiliary hangar across the airport. It's controlled by Maintenance One. It's one of their, it's one of their customers that their airplane is gone, so they let us use their hangar because they're still paying rent for their stuff that's inside of it. So, anyways, that's Kevin's deal. It's not ours. So we have the Zelda until Sunday, I think, and then one of us is supposed to fly it back somehow. Hopefully, 887 will be functional, and we can fly them both down there, and 887 can bring the pilots back. That'll be nice. Kind of a reversal of what we were going to do. We were going to do that on Sunday. We were going to pick up Zelda from San Diego on Sunday. However, there was a glitch in the credentials of the check pilot. Something to do with some switch that somebody didn't throw. So we just I couldn't flight release it because he had a glitch in his credentials. The day started off at 5 o'clock in the morning. It said that it was not flight capable. And so I started off in the morning and I fixed that, but then the second alert came in, and we weren't able to flight release them. So this is Wimmers right here. And what I want to show you guys is something in the scheduling here. So you're going to go down here to support, and then you're going to go to scheduling. Actually, let's go to support, and I want to go to maintenance module. It's down here too, right here. So when you're going to take an airplane, doesn't matter if it's ours or anybody else's. The first thing I want you to do is check the maintenance module, and I'm going to go there and show you where and what to check. Because guys are scheduling the aircraft, and they're assuming that everything is fine. You're going to go to the very top item, which is current aircraft maintenance snapshot. And then you're going to do the pull down box, and you're going to go to the California wing. And then you're going to get a list here of all the aircraft in the California wing and their status. Red obviously means that it's not flight capable. Green means it's flight capable fully, and yellow means partial, right? So you want to scan down until you see the aircraft that you want to take. The first thing you do before you schedule the aircraft, okay? So let's scroll down here just to see 887. I'm sorry, my eyes are very bad. I can't see nothing. So here's 887 Charlie Papa right here. It's in red. Right here. Okay, it says not mission capable right there in status. It's usually parked at Palm Springs. If you go down the line on this, you can see the last tack time, last flown, hours flown in the last 30 days. Next oil change. This is important. Your oil change, and in 48 more hours it needs an oil change. But that doesn't say the time. Remember, we got 4 months or between 45 and 55 hours, right? If it comes up to 4 months, you should be putting it in the shop. And if you go down this line, it tells you all kinds of other things. It says hours to 100 hours, 98 more hours to 100 hours. This gives you a lot of information about that aircraft. Every time we have a SARX, I look up every single aircraft and I find out what their statistics are. So I can see if that aircraft is going to work for the SARX for the 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday of the SARX. However, I want you to look these things up for the aircraft that you're flying and see if it's capable, right? Because if the guys, when you're doing your flight schedule, when you're scheduling the aircraft, it doesn't show you that. So, if you find out that it's green, and then you go to the next step, which is scheduling the aircraft, right? This will solve a lot of problems when you get to the hangar and you're trying to do your sortie, and the flight release officer calls you up and says, hey, you know, I can't release your flight because of these problems. That's only one set of problems, but right now we're showing the month of the schedule. Now mine probably looks different than all you guys's, because I've listed all the aircraft in California so I can see what their schedules are, because I'm usually a flight release officer. I'm usually a planning section chief, ops section chief, or something like that for SARX. I need to know what's going on with all the aircraft, so I've got them in my bank. So it shows them all. You may have one or two. You may have just 7598 Zulu and 887, right? So this is how you see what's going on with the rest of the aircraft. Whether you got to do it or not important to me, but maybe important to you. The way you change this is you come over here and you say, on the top, up here, it says update my preferences, right? So if you want to put a new aircraft in or take one out, you come to this menu and you see all those aircraft on there, the ones that I've got in my list. Now sometimes it has an airport instead of an airplane. You can actually say, I want Whiteman Airport, right? Instead of the airplanes, because Whiteman has 3 aircraft. So it'll list all 3 aircraft instead of just individually, right? Or maybe it has 2 aircraft, but you know what I'm saying? So, just so you know, that's how we do things. And you can keep track of it. You can add aircraft to this, you can take aircraft out. And there's a little button there that says, when you're adding it, to email you information on scheduling. So every one of those aircraft, when it gets scheduled, I get an email, right? And it says, this guy is going to use this aircraft on this day. That's so I can keep track of stuff. 2 reasons. 1, I want to make sure that the aircraft are going to the right people. 2, I want to make sure, like, if I get an alert from somebody like Richard Green scheduled the aircraft, I knew we were going to have the aircraft here. He doesn't know that. So I sent him a courtesy email saying, hey, we've got the aircraft, so if you want to fly it, you should come to Riverside and pick it up. Now, the one thing I wanted to tell you guys is this is a scheduling program, and this is what I believe in, the scheduling program. Schedule your aircraft weeks in advance, because you may not get it the weekend that you're available. So schedule it, even if you think you're going to fly it. But if you don't fly it, make sure you take it off the schedule, so the next pilot can have it, right? Let's don't be greedy with that, because people can abuse this stuff. Now, if you want to fly an aircraft, if you look right here on Friday, right, 7598 Zulu is listed there. Who's got that? Well, I've got that scheduled, right?
Wednesday and Friday, you say?
I've got it Wednesday and I've got it Friday. So you guys I can transfer it over to you guys if you want. So Friday here it says 7598 Zulu, but Saturday it says well, it's probably there, but it's down below. Can't see anything. So 7598 Zulu. Now if you go in there and touch that, 7598 Zulu, everything on that day, every aircraft on that day comes up in this menu. 7598 Zulu is got annual O rides scheduled on that Saturday. So if you want to fly it for your check ride, you're going to have to talk to the person that scheduled that, right? So, and there's no reason why you can't call them up and say, hey, you know, I've got a 4 and 5 scheduled that day. Is there any way that I can take the aircraft instead of you, right? We're all in the CAP.
Or a different time.
Huh?
Or a different time.
Or a different time, yeah, you can find out. this is the schedule for this day. It says that, of course it doesn't show SIM 598 because it has zoom up here. So SIM 598 Zulu is scheduled by Terry Pratt from 8 to 12, and then Michael Brennan from 1300 to 1500. He's the other guy that's taking the check ride with you. If you want to have it, you better put a schedule in there, right? And the reason why I'm teaching you this is because you're going to go to the aircraft and somebody's going to be getting in it and taking it away, and the guy that's got the schedule gets the airplane. If you're not smart enough to not know about the schedule, you lose. All right? As far as I'm concerned, that schedule is gold. So I will support the schedule before I'll support the numbers. So get in there, get your schedule done. Like I said, even if you don't know if you're going to go 100%, if you think you're 90% sure you're going to go, put it in there. Take it out if you don't go. If you find out you can't go. And the same thing, if you got your name in there, another pilot may call you and say, hey, I really need to get a Form 5 done before the end of the month or it will expire. Can I take the airplane from you? Remember, courtesy. We're all the same, we're all members, we're all CAP members, we all fly the same aircraft. And it's nice every once in a while to give in, if you can. Many, many times, I've given up the aircraft because I believe that the commander, and I've got over 1,000 hours, I don't really need the flight time. So I gave it up to my members all the time, right? Now I don't have a medical, so I don't have to worry about it as much, but still, I would give up my aircraft for one of my members to fly before me, because that's what I think I should do. So anyway, make sure you schedule your stuff. Make sure you take it out. This is your maintenance to do, right? It's in the scheduling module in Wimmers. Does everybody know how to get there? You don't let me know. All right? So, now 743 Charlie Papa, not 743, but 743 Charlie Papa right now is stranded at Palm Springs. It's broken with a bad alternator. All right? That's Fullerton's aircraft. The problem is the mechanic's got 5 aircraft in here from CAP right now, and he can't get there. So it's sitting there, broken, and he's got the alternator to put on it, but he can't put it on because he's too busy. And that's unfortunate because Fullerton doesn't have an aircraft to fly. Now they could send their mechanic from Fullerton all the way up to Palm Springs to put it on, if National will authorize that. If they really need it, that's probably what I would ask to do. We work really hard, maintenance guys. I'm maintenance. Lon is maintenance. There's a half a dozen other guys. Every squadron that has an aircraft has a maintenance officer, and we work really hard to keep these things flying. And sometimes it's just out of our hands. So,
What is 7.3 Charlie Papa?
what is it?
Yeah.
You've flown it. I don't understand why you don't remember that.
Like 437 Charlie Papa.
743, 743 Charlie Papa.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You've flown that aircraft and Fullerton. So.
Yeah, no, I'm
Okay.
sorry. I didn't remember wrong.
Okay, don't do that. So anyway, that's Fullerton's aircraft, and they need to get it running too. So we'll see if we can't get them up and going too. If I can find somebody to go change the alternator for them. So we've actually asked. The question was asked today if we could take their alternator and put it on an 887, and Civil Air Patrol doesn't like to do that trade stuff. So I told them no. 743 gets their alternator as soon as we can get it put on. So we're not going to take it from them. It's only a couple of days for us to get one to 887. Zelda is back in the hangar. Now I want everybody to understand that Zelda has a problem, and if you looked up on the scheduling program, if you looked up on the maintenance program, let's go look.
You can get to it through the schedule also.
Yeah. Let's see if I. It's not there. No, yeah, oh, there it is. If you go here to 887, excuse me, not 887, I'm sorry, it's over 759. If you go here, the yellow, right, in the maintenance module, and go to the little blue hyperlink right here, it says discrepancies, 3. That means it has 3 discrepancies. You should look at that before you schedule it, because one of those discrepancies might be one that you've got to deal with. In other words, you look at this, the 3 discrepancies is it's got a fuel oil problem with the strainer. By the way, we had somebody look at that, and I looked at it myself, and the strainer is difficult, but it still works. It still opens and it still closes. And I'm having Kevin look at that as soon as he's got time. The next one is the PFD is intermittent. Does anybody know what that is? The PFD is the primary flight display. It's intermittent.
Do you have to be a qualified pilot to see this?
No, you shouldn't have to. You can't see it?
No. Commission.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. Okay. I'm just curious.
You should be able to see it anyway. You're a deputy commander here.
Getting information there.
We'll have to look that up. Anyway, because I'm a flight release officer and I'm also the maintenance officer, I get to see lots of things that you guys may not be able to see. But you can get discrepancies through AMRAD, I think. Can you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you go to AMRAD, if you go back to e-services and go directly to AMRAD, let's go to menu, logistics, AMRAD, and you should be able to look it up right here, aircraft status. Right, so you should-
I don't see
Search.
AMRAD.
Huh?
I don't see AMRAD.
You don't see AMRAD either?
Yeah. That's funny.
Oh my God.
I know they broke something.
Well, it appears that it's a permissions issue, and I'm privileged more than I thought it was. Anyway, if it's listed as full mission capable, everything should be working. If it's listed as partial mission capable, then there's going to be some sort of issue. But pilots should be able to get to that. Can you? You can't get to it either.
No, permission.
Wow. I don't like that. So that ruins my whole spiel of checking all your discrepancies before you schedule an aircraft, making sure that that it's fully capable to fly. Is it?
When you create a sortie, I believe there's also a link in there to take you to the discrepancies.
You're correct. Well, they may not be able to see it, but if you go to the PRMA program, can you get to that, you guys? Let's go look up 7598 Zulu. I can get there too. Aircraft information. Can you guys get to 7598 Zulu? Let's see what it says. 7598 Zulu. And if you go to the top, it says partial mission capable. IFR flight prohibited, which should be coming from AMRAD, right? Because we put that in there. Right here, partial mission capable IFR flight prohibited. Its location right now is R8L, which means it's here. That's your tack time. There's a couple other things in there that might be useful.
Can you tell why it's IFR prohibited?
You can if you can get into discrepancies.
Yeah,
But I'm sorry, it looks like
you got it.
it
And
looks
that's,
like looks like some of you can't get there.
you know what it is?
Yeah, the PFD is intermittent.
Oh, intermittent, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. You can't fly IFR if you can't count on your PFD working, right? So we put it in there as IFR flight prohibited, right? So remember, check your schedule, check your maintenance if you can. The PCR program here is pretty handy for information about all kinds of things, actually. So you know how to get to that stuff, everybody? That's that one. Right? So, before you depend on an airplane functioning, make sure you check the schedule. Make sure you check the deficiencies if you can get to it. I think Juan is right when you're trying to do a sortie, that you should be able to get in and do a, find the discrepancies. Christopher, see if you can get into, because I know you're,
What am I looking for?
I want you to go to Wimmers.
Yep.
I want you to go into California Miscellaneous. You there yet? When you enter a mission, right? See right there where it says enter a mission?
Okay.
You go CA and the hyphen, and it should
Yep.
turn it down.
I got it.
California Miscellaneous,
Got it.
811 air sorties.
Got it.
Okay, let me see if I can get there. With you. Okay, so now it says add powered sortie. There. Do you see that?
No. That's not what I get when I say that.
You don't get add sortie? You may not, because you're actually not a pilot yet. That's what I'm trying to find out.
Yeah.
It's
I
a
mean,
permission
I
issue.
just get the mission.
Andre, what about you? You should be able to see it.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
You do?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So
Oh,
we're gonna
yeah.
go into add powered sortie.
Oh, I can get there.
Okay.
Yeah, I can get there.
And then we're gonna select a mission number, which is usually gonna be what? C-17, C-12? Does anybody know? Do you know how to find out? See right there where it says mission symbol list right here, the little blue hyperlink? You're gonna go there. This tells you the description of every one of the A numbers, right? So what's A12? Proficiency flights by a qualified cadet and senior member pilots conducted in accordance with the 71-4, blah, blah, blah. So most likely it's going to be an A12, right? So then we go back, we pick an A12, right? Now, your description of what you're going to be doing is a different A number, then you're going to have to pick that. Right? Your flight instructor should be able to help you out on this as well. So now, you're going to pick a flight, you're going to go whatever it is, profile A. The drop-down boxes are going to only have stuff that's pertaining to that particular mission symbol, right? It looks like here, I don't see the discrepancies here, but it might be on another menu. So let's go pick something that's already here. I'm gonna go to a flight that's already existing.
And it says Ken, no AMRAD on my e-services either.
Sorry about that, Ken, but as soon as you become mission pilot trainee, you should be able to get to it. So these are the pending flights. Look at 7598 Zulu. On what day is that? Who's that? Let's just go to that.
Six flag.
Hmm? I did the wrong one. Yeah, 7589 instead of 7592. Sorry, guys. My brain and my eyes don't really work really well. What's this one here? 75980. Okay, that's the flight that was done today. Let's go in and check that out. So now it's all filled out. If we don't change anything, it won't hurt anybody, but does it have discrepancies in there?
What are your sorting information?
Okay. I think what's gonna happen is, it's not gonna be there until you go to, your ORMs. In ORMs, when you go to do your ORMs, okay. Well, I guess that the discrepancies is only visible to me. Cause when I go to FRO, the discrepancies are always listed there. Sorry, guys, I failed, oh, here it is, it's discrepancy log, right down there.
That's for you, though.
No, it says Michael Swift, but that's because I'm the flight release officer. But now if you go into discrepancy log, I don't know if you guys can get to it, it shows the discrepancy log again. Hit open discrepancies, that'll filter the report, and then it should have 3. Right? Can you guys get to that? I'm trying to see if I can get you
I
the
have no
discrepancy.
permissions.
Huh?
I don't have permission to access.
To get the discrepancies?
Mhm.
That's a shame. Everybody should be able to get to that. I mean, you wanna see what's going on.
Why would you keep it secret?
I was going to ask how the file discrepancy, for example, what's my code, the computer will show all the DMs and manifold pressure and everything.
Well, that's the PCMR program, right?
It's under the
Are you, you're talking about, okay, you're talking about, let's go back. Show you the menu. You're talking about this information? No?
No, this I can do. I can do.
Yeah, I know.
I can do brief sorting and everything. When I click on discrepancy log from my sort kit, I get to the page which shows I have no permission to access.
Well, again, I'm sorry that you can't, you should be able to, if you're doing a flight, you should know what's wrong with the discrepancy level. I'm gonna have to research that a little bit and see if I can't find a workaround for you guys so you can see the discrepancies. There's probably just a certain sequence of things you gotta do to see them. And where I'm going is because I have permission to do that.
If you're permission only, can you still tell if there are discrepancies?
That's what we're trying to. If you have permission, you can see what they are.
But do you know that they exist, even if you can't see what they are?
Yes.
Okay.
In the PCMR program that I showed you, it said 3 discrepancies.
But they won't tell you if they are.
Well,
At this point.
you guys told me you can't get to it, so.
Yeah.
Sir.
Not to derail your conversation, but I'm texting, Kevin here, told him about the oil log not being completed.
Right.
He's got it on his desk.
Oh, okay.
Can I send him back? Are you gonna be at the airport tomorrow?
You know what? I have a project that I gotta go to tomorrow, but I'll be there on Thursday. So, I can go get it Thursday.
I'll just leave it. You may put it in there
Okay,
tomorrow or something
all right.
like that.
Thank you very much. All right, so, again, let's, go over that. Gotta make sure that your sorties are correct. You gotta make sure your entries are correct. Check your discrepancies if you can. Check your schedule, make sure that nobody else has got the airplane scheduled. It's really undesirable when you show up here to do something and the airplane's gone. And then you don't know where it is. That's happened to me before on a mission, by the way. I got here one night to take, one of our aircraft, I can't tell you which one it was. I think it was, 968 Charlie Papa. I was here to do a mission to go do an ELT at about 9 o'clock at night. I got here and the airplane was gone. And the reason why the airplane was gone is because somebody came from another airport, and I think it was Fullerton, the 743 Charlie Papa, and they parked over there in the parking places over there when you could park over there. And they came over and walked in and opened our hangar, took our airplane so they could train in our aircraft, right? Well, they didn't put on the schedule, they didn't tell anybody. And I said, no problem, I'll just take their airplane. So I went down there and it was completely locked with no key. They had taken the key with them. So these are all bad things. We need to, that's before we had the little lock boxes, and so make sure that keys are always in the lock box when you leave it with them. Right? So, I had keys to almost every airplane separately, and I had keys made for every airplane, so if I have to get it on, I can, but that's because I'm a maintenance officer, so. Anyway. Any questions of any of that? Of how you schedule the aircraft, how you check, or at least try to check?
No questions
Andre.
about that. I have question about what are the required attachments for the software when the software is done.
What is the required what?
Attachments,
Attachments?
right. So when we debrief the software, what is mandatory to attach besides the receipt for the fuel, which is clear, and form 14?
Okay, so we're gonna go to your sorting. I'm just gonna try to, what is it today?
Yes.
Is that one?
That's yesterday. Let's go.
No, it's 811, right?
No, it's yesterday. I think it's changed the location. Today is fourth one up.
Okay. Which one's yours?
No.
I think it's like 142. Which one's yours? I'm helping you.
So it was A0145.
So it's not even in this mess. What day was it? Is today the 4th?
Third.
Today's the 3rd.
Maybe because I already debriefed it when it's done. I don't know.
It's possible that if you did the Form 108 already, it could be off the list, but it usually just says complete. It's gray. Was it a California miscellaneous? No, yours was onboarding.
It was on board.
It was a different mission number, that's why. We have to go back. What is that, 3527? What's your mission, what's your mission number? I hope everybody's finding something.
22-T is Tango -3759A.
3759. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
It's an onboarding, so there's different missions for different things, guys, so just remember that. So it's an onboarding mission, you got approved and released, you're completed, or did you finish your paperwork? You're probably didn't finish it.
The paperwork, that's why it's complete. So if I go to debrief,
What's in yours?
that's,
Yeah.
Brennan.
It's Brennan's? Okay, so yours is one up from there, right?
Yeah, the one which is complete.
Which one is it, 142 or 141? 141?
145.
All right. So this one's yours, right?
Yeah.
So when you go, when you get done with your flight, you're supposed to go to debrief, and then you gotta fill out all the boxes in debrief. The most important boxes in debrief is actual time of departure, actual time of arrival. This is like your very most important ones.
Yeah.
And then all these are important as well, right? Did you get fuel?
No, that's why I'm not fuel.
Okay, so you know fuel, right? So you're okay, you're done.
Okay.
But if you have fuel,
Yeah, then I have to do.
then you have to do all this stuff, and then you have to do somebody has to do the Form 108. Yeah, and that reimburses you if you paid for it, and or it reimburses California Wing if we paid for it. with using the wing credit card.
But you know about the 104 also, right? You gotta first do that.
Yeah, the 104 is this one as well. 104 is almost always completed for you if you do the brief and debrief. Look at this. Didn't used to be. See there? So everything you put in the brief and debrief is already printed in there, right? You don't really have much to do.
Well, I'm thinking about the other one that you attach to the 108.
1-4. 1-4, and it's done in,
Form what?
Since thought it was the 104.
No, we used to have to fill out the 104 manually, but now it does almost everything.
No, there's another one that you have to do off of this,
You're talking about the 108, probably.
no,
114.
114, that's it.
The 414 is if you get fuel, right? Yeah, but that's not in here. It's out of the PRMA program.
Right.
414.
Right.
And
Yeah.
then you screenshot it and attach here on the, Silky files.
Right. Yeah, that's where you attach it at. So that's the one you were talking about, thinking about? Yeah. The 414 is if you get fuel, you're gonna have to take a picture of the receipt, put it on the form 14, fill out all the criteria, that gets emailed to you and then as a PDF, and then you can take that PDF and upload that. Yes, sir.
So Ken has some comments or questions. It says, on the mission info air sortie list, why do some completed missions have a lock symbol and others do not?
Good question. The lock symbol is created when you do the Form 108. As soon as you do the Form 108, it locks that, and nobody can change it again. All right? So, the Form 108 is when you're trying to get reimbursed, or you want the wing to get reimbursed, right? That's when you buy fuel. So if you're buying fuel with the wing credit card, or the national credit card,
And just a quick follow-up, it says the lock symbol is next to the debrief in the edit brief debrief options link.
okay, let's go. I don't see it. Usually it's, let me see if I can find that. Yeah, it's not any of these. See the completed one right here, this one that you completed, it doesn't have a lock on it because the 108's gonna finish on it. And like, again, you don't need a 108 if you don't get fuel. But that locks it so nobody can change it at all. All right.
Do you need to do that 108 even if you fly the hours? Even if you didn't get gas?
I don't think you do a 108 even if you don't get gas, because the 108 typically,
For an A flight?
what's that?
I mean, typically you wouldn't fill out a 108 for a C flight.
Yeah, see right here, if you go to 108, on the left-hand side of the menu, under finance, it should be, right? Create a 108. So if you go here and you're gonna be, it's just asking me, see, E108 list. See all these entries here are for that particular mission. That's 3759, and all these entries are on that onboarding mission, right? So when they do an E108, and they create that, it creates one E108 with a total of all this stuff on it to go to win. See, I can't push the buttons right now because I don't want to mess it up. Does that answer everybody's question? Unfortunately, we don't have anything here that I can demonstrate with if that's something that I do it for you. So. If you're not getting fuel or oxygen or oil or something that has to be reimbursed for either you or the Wayne credit card, you don't need a 108. Right? Any other questions? No? All right, hopefully I've helped people out with their problems with scheduling and or some problems, discrepancies, problems with the aircraft. I was gonna talk about ELTs tonight, but we don't have a lot of time left, so we're gonna do this another time. Everybody knows what we do, right? We're search and rescue, and one of our basic mission is to search for ELTs. We don't quite get as many. Oops. We don't get quite as many as we used to, but we still do missions. And what we're looking for is this sound, right? Coming from this box, right? And that's what we're looking for. In the aircraft, you can get that sound through the comm radio, dial in the 1215. This one is a practice one. It's 121775. But you can get it on a standard FM radio, VHF AM radio too. The same thing as the aircraft have. Becker, right? Or the Becker. The Becker actually is specifically designed to search for this frequency. Now, the newer aircraft have 406 transponders in them. So you're going to be looking for a 406. Now, the 406 has an extension on that. 406, I think 001 or 002 or something like that. The IC will tell you which one that you're looking for, because it does matter now. That particular 406 only bursts every 50 seconds. You'll get a burst, and then you won't get a sweep tone like this unless you're close, because most 406s have both frequencies. A 406 frequency that bursts every 50 seconds, and you're going to get close to that with your Becker. And if you get within a mile or two, you should be able to hear the sweep tones. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some UDF training next time, or maybe a couple weeks from now. Next week is safety week. The week after that we might do, if we got time, or maybe next month. These are training devices. I got the radio, which I can track that with. I have the Becker, which is friendly called cheese block, because it looks like government cheese block. And then we have the MK. This device is in every aircraft, or it should be. So those one may not be, but this one is in every aircraft. Usually in that big 4-inch white tube in the back. So some of them have the antenna in the back, and this little blue box will be in the glove compartment. Sometimes they have them separated, so if you're going to go on a search, make sure that thing's complete and works.
You called the cheese block a Becker, is that correct?
I called the cheese block a Becker by mistake. It's not a Becker. It's actually an Elper made by a company, and their name is Elper. That one's called a little Elper, but they have them in aircraft as well. The old aircraft used to have an Elper in them. It was a dial and a needle, and if it was over there, the needle would point that way. If it was over there, the needle would point that way. And that's how we did the search for many years. Now we have the Becker.
Can we get back to the transponders?
Sir.
Not all transponders are dual 406 and
Correct.
115. There's a lot of them that are just 406.
Correct.
The older models are 121.5. That's the 243, it's the doubling of the 121.5.
The 243 was mostly military.
That's right. But they carry the old ones that carry both of them. So you're paying extra to get the 406 and the 121.5 in the transponder.
Yeah. Yeah, the one I put in my Skymaster had both, because, I'm a CAP guy, I want both of them in there, so. The 406 is actually very accurate. if the 406 doesn't have a 121.5 sweep, it most likely is connected to a GPS in your aircraft. Which means when it bursts out the latitude and longitude, it's within a foot. So if we pick that up, we get that burst, and in that information is your latitude and longitude, we can find you very quickly.
So the 406 is really good for about 100 meters.
Yeah.
Anything within 100 meters for the 406.
The standard 406 that does not have a GPS connection is good within 100 meters. Yeah.
That's 300 feet. 300 feet.
So yeah, you should be able
You
to find
can't
it.
find something within 300 feet something wrong.
Well,
Like,
don't say that. There's a lot of people out there that have difficulty finding that. But the 121.5, if it has that sister signal, I've actually flown past it and turned the aircraft and looked straight down at the whatever it is, whether it's a transponder or an aircraft or a vehicle or training or a ground crew that's got it in his hand. That's how accurate that you can get with it. Yes, sir.
What does a transponder have to do with this? These are for HF signals.
Yeah, what is this?
That is a beacon.
It's a beacon, it's a transponder.
It's a transponder?
I think so, yeah.
But transponders are something that are interrogated by ATC.
Different transponder.
Oh, okay.
I know what you're saying, but this is a transponder. It may not be called transponder.
Maybe not.
Yeah,
Okay.
it may be called a beacon.
Yeah. I think transmitter.
It's a transmitter, actually.
Yeah,
Transponder.
transmitter,
A
that's a good one.
transponder typically can be something that you can ping, you're right? You can ping it or you can call it. It's a transponder.
Yeah. But we shouldn't be calling these things transponders.
Very good. That's one for you. Okay, so, anyway,
Give me
we
what
are about 3 minutes.
ADSB stands for.
What's that?
Give me what ADSB stands for now.
I don't know.
Automatic.
Usually I look at my notes before I talk to you guys, so I know most of the terms.
That's the new transponder.
My brain is fried, you know.
New transponder.
What does ADSB mean?
Break it out.
Huh?
ADSP, break it out.
Automated.
Automated.
Automated directional system.
System
See, nobody in here knows.
I look it up.
broadcast. Yeah.
Are you a pilot? What's ADSB mean?
Something with broadcasting, automated.
It's a broadcasting, you know,
device.
It's
Yeah.
the latest edition.
Yeah.
The newest thing.
I think the last two were surveillance broadcasting. What's the first two?
Does anyone wanna know what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big
Automatic
monitoring
independent
device.
surveillance broadcast.
Very good. And you had to look it up
I'm
because you
looking
didn't
it
know either.
What
Yeah.
was the second word? Automatic
Dependent.
dependent.
So it's okay if you don't remember everything because there's a lot of things to remember.
Good for the line of sight.
Actually, the ADSB would make a good topic to talk about when we're reviewing this, because it doesn't work anything like a normal transponder.
Well, why don't you get that presentation ready and do that in a week or two?
Yeah, it's
We
actually,
would appreciate
yeah,
that.
it's actually very interesting how ADSB works
Yeah.
especially for us pilots, because it's
Make sure there's
It's not
pictures because we
intuitive.
gotta have pictures.
not intuitive.
We did that.
Even now.
We did that a couple years ago here.
Must have
When it
out,
first came out.
even option.
Yeah.
Right.
They're
That
good,
is optional.
they're the line of sight, they're not like any other signal that bounces, they're line of sight, that's why there's beacons all over.
So, does everybody know about TRAX, the program that we have, that we track our aircraft with? TRAX is actually, gets its information for the program from, Flight Trader 24. And that comes in from the ADSB system. They track that, and then they send us the data, we put it in our TRAX program, and we can see what's going on.
Yeah, and there was a kid who developed a program tracking our masses, jet from Twitter, and he's publishing the present position of our mass jet in real time.
Yeah? Yeah, you can do that if you know.
I like, how come it's not a violation of privacy?
No, because the registries are public, but Elon Musk's crew or whatever didn't bother to.
Well, the FAA
make their
registration
information
is
private.
public information.
But
But if you have a private jet, private, and you wanna keep it private, you can actually get a hold of Flight 24, Flight Trader 24, and I think that they have a special form for that. Cause in the beginning, all cap aircraft were hidden from anybody to see them on flight training. Years ago. And I don't know why, but they're all public, so.
And Ken did have the definition for ADSB. I just didn't see it quick enough.
Uh-oh, thank you, Ken. All right, well, that's 8 o'clock now, so we can adjourn the mission here, adjourn the meeting.
Been a few, 8.
Thank you very much. Oh, one extra thing here. I don't know if you saw it last week, Ken Benner, which is the Group 3 commander, put out an advertisement for a new commander for Squadron 5. So that means that, you know, my reign is gonna be quickly gone. Probably by the end of this month, I would imagine. So, if you want to be the commander here, you gotta send them your resume and some recommendations from people. And we may get somebody from some other squadron that comes in here and takes over the squadron. So who knows what's gonna happen?
Sure.
Unless Andre wants to be the commander. No, huh?
Thinking about it, honestly.
Huh?
I don't want anybody else to come and do it.
No, we don't. We want somebody from our own squadron to take over. Anyway, you gotta have a certain amount of qualifications to do that. But, and then you gotta do a little training. If I can do it, anybody can do it. All right, well, that's adjourned, everybody.
Okay. I'll go out to the hangar and check on a couple things.
Okay, you need